Hello, everybody, and welcome. I was going to sit outside today. It's beautiful out there, but the wind is blowing so strongly. We've got these big, huge gusts of wind blowing. So I'm sitting inside with the door open. So probably might be able to hear in the background. Uh, I'm just typing in my little messages always. And if you're stopping in, please do stop by and say hi. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. Into me, yeah, having a hard time. All righty. Stop on by and say hello. Um, Today is March 30th, 2022. My name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I don't diagnose, prescribe, or heal. I scan your frequency and energy pattern and tell you what I see. You should consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice, and all content is copyright protected, and you may not use this content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. Now, I was thinking about this earlier, and I've been doing this work for like 20 years or so, and same issue. Well, this is the United States, of just having these legalese. Hey, Kayla, good to see you. So we had to do it back then and do it now. And for hands-on healing, technically, it's basically against the law unless you're a minister. But Cherie Chichovan, hey Cherie, you haven't stopped it for a while. Good to see you. Anna, hola, and Ilaria. Buonasera, Ilaria. Nice to be here. Yeah, nice to have you. So, good to see everybody. Let's take a deep breath in, and I was tuning in earlier. I just want to double check if we're still on for what was coming up earlier, just before I signed on. So, just take a deep breath in and settle in. Buonasera. Feel your seat in your environment. Feel what's happening in your environment. And work to, it's the French, perfect accent, she says. Yeah, it's the French. See if you, so notice your environment, notice, and you notice the sounds, the objects, the whatever's going on in your environment, smells. And for a minute, just kind of look around you and notice. And then keep noticing, but pull yourself into yourself as you notice. And it's almost like you're contracting yourself, pulling yourself back in until you start to notice that separation that happens. What happens a lot of times, I want to just explain that for a minute, but what happens, basically what happens, unless you learn to be real centered on yourself, real focused on yourself, you hear a sound and energetically you actually reach out to where that sound is. So we don't need to do that. It's kind of an automatic thing that happens. But if you notice that, you'll feel yourself kind of energetically moving out, and so pulling yourself back in, letting the sound stay where it is, and coming back in here. I remember one time I went to see this one-man circus that had come into town. It was a fantastic show. The guy did a lot of tightrope walking, and at the end of the show, he pops out of the top, this little opening at the top of his he had this little mini tent, circus tent, and there was this big long line that went all the way out that he walked on. Well, when I saw the show, it had rained, so he had to postpone it, and he was doing this in the dark. Of course, there was a little bit of light there, walking up this thing, and it was angled. It wasn't straight like that. It was angled up. But before the show, it was amazing to see, to experience this, because this is how present we learn to be. And a tightrope walker really has to learn to be very present in himself or herself, really connected in that moment. And before the show, I was sitting next to somebody who obviously knew him, because came up, they had a little the bleachers, and he was working behind the bleachers and was back there, and his friend turned around and said hello. And the solidness that, boom, this guy, the tightrope walker, the circus guy, portrayed was amazing. I could feel that, just like boom, just rock solid. So learn to do that a lot with your tightrope walking. So do that right now. Just feel yourself in your environment. It's like tightrope walking. Anything that pulls you off, you're going to fall off that tightrope. And feeling yourself just pulling right in, regardless of that sounds or smells or noises. You know, even if it smells something burning, you can take 1 second, stay inside your body, and then staying within yourself, move towards that smell. And take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, but without going, sending yourself out of your body, staying within your body, and as a whole unit, moving, kind of thing. Work and practice. Yeah. So here's my little story for today. All right. So yeah, we're all going to settle in. This might be just more of a silent meditation today. And those are always wonderful to do. Close your eyes. Ilaria, try doing this with your eyes open as much as possible. And if you need to take a break, close your eyes. Do that. But in this space, since you're in a group space, you have that support. Kind of push yourself to whatever, and you just looking at objects and really allowing yourself to really stay present. Give yourself a little extra practice here. This is what we were talking about that the other day. And you can, so generally speaking, you guys, either you could do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. If you have a tendency to just kind of like float off or dissipate when you have your eyes closed, start with your eyes open and then come into your eyes closed. And when you notice yourself dissipating, take a deep breath in. Maybe open your eyes to help yourself reset, to help yourself kind of really come back into present moment and space and time for yourself. Close your eyes again. Really focus on being present with your eyes closed. And whenever it starts to, you start noticing, oh, whoa, I'm okay, I've just kind of slid out here. Take a deep breath in, hold it, come into the, open your eyes if you need to, reset yourself, and then come back in, or vice versa. If you have a hard time staying really present with yourself and get pulled out by the physical, some of us are that way, distracted by the physical and pulled out of ourselves by the physical stuff, then work with your eyes open and really being present with yourself as you're looking at things, as you're, it's good to just take that time to do that for more than just 30 seconds when we're getting ready for a meditation. So, good work. So, feel your bodies. Feel what you're sitting on. So there's different levels to feel at. There's, like for me, I'm sitting on a couch, so whatever you're sitting on, and if you're standing, then your feet. Become really aware of that body surface connection, even if it's through a layer of clothes, a layer of shoes, a layer of socks, whatever. Just put your awareness there. Feel the clothes that you're wearing, feel the cushion, the seat, the floor that you're on. Let yourself drop into that. So there's that physical layer. There's also that energetic layer, or not, I'll say non-physical, that goes from the energetic all the way to the frequency level. The difference is that energy is denser than frequency. It's a densification of frequency. And at that layer, so might notice that you're sitting on something at that level, or standing on something that's non-physical. You might also notice another layer at the non-physical, your connection to the earth. I'll just call it that. That earth, we are connected to the earth. We are on earth. There's that density that gravity provides. That is that pulling action. That's heavier here than it is on the moon, or that pulls more than it does on the moon. Gives us more density. So you might notice that. That's you know, that's a physical component, but we're also feeling it at the non-physical level. Creating that weight, or that sensation of weight. That's more of what it does. It's like creating that sensation of weight, because it's density, it pulls down. Yeah. So I'm going to go in a little deeper and let yourself just focus on what we've been talking about. You have your eyes open, noticing objects, sounds, smells around you, and pulling yourself back, and notice if you can pull yourself kind of to the center of your body as you notice that. And you will feel kind of the like a little pulling back from what you're looking at. And if you get distracted a little bit, find yourself getting pulled away from connecting to yourself, just take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, releasing it out completely. All the way out till the next inhale just automatically kicks in. And you can come back to focusing on that density of your body, that connection, physical and non-physical connection to what you're sitting on, to the earth. Yeah, just kind of going into kind of just that pure state of being. Kind of smoothing everything out. There's clearing that's happening, and it's sort of like clearing this film of stuff, of distortion. Removing some of the thickness. Thickness, gooiness, gelatinous quality to distortions that we might have around us, even if it's just in our environment that we're feeling around us. At times, it's important to know what those distortions are about. And at times, it's important to just ignore that and focus in on the brilliance that we are. And the latter is one of these moments now. Allowing ourselves to really come into being. This is what this program is called here, my little program every Wednesday that I do with you guys. Coming into being. If you notice any little bit of kind of shaking, even if it's kind of a wobbliness kind of shaking or kind of a trembling, very light, that's the process of coming into more alignment. Muscles will do that, like in your body, like your leg. You might hold, like if you put your leg up on the tips of your toes and it starts to shake, it's because it's actually grounding more. So coming more into, it's like you're grounding more, coming more into those physical tissues. And by you coming more into energetically, frequencies, non-physical wise, coming into the physical tissues more, so grounding in more, same thing. So I'm noticing a little bit of that. It's very soft, but some of you, you might feel it more or less. And when you come into that stillness, you've come into a deeper alignment. And you might notice stillness and then going into kind of that wavery, shaky, trembly kind of feeling, wobbly feeling. So that's just kind of going in deeper for a deeper alignment. Whether you have your eyes open or eyes closed, you can be aware of this. So if your eyes, either way, if you're having a hard time distinguishing that, it's because it's like you're distracted. The mind is not settled in enough. So you can take a deep breath in for yourself, hold it at the top, releasing it all the way through. Coming back into that awareness of your physical body. A lot of us learn to pull away from our physical bodies for a lot of reasons. Abuse is basically the bottom line here, especially when we've been abused at a very early point in our lives, in our existence, making that the physical, connecting into the physical makes us feel like we're going to get annihilated. And this is a very common thread that's come into people's psyche since the atom bomb. But it was there before, but that really anchored it in. So taking this time now to just let ourselves relax through all of that, allowing whatever comes up that keeps us from really being present in ourselves in this moment to come through. Breathing into that, allowing us to relax through that. And coming into a deeper place in ourselves. And I don't know if anybody's seen this, but it's kind of beautiful. So I'll just share what's coming through. This last piece here is just kind of this very kind of sparkly, white sparkly energy frequencies that are coming through. I feel very light. Wow. It's like each one of those sparkles. I'm curious if anybody else is picking up on this. It's like each one of those sparkles is a living being kind of quality to it. It's beautiful. And coming into each person here. So I'll be really curious to hear if people are picking up, feeling this. And you might not see it as sparkles. It's just I get a lot of visuals, so it's coming through as sparkles. But you might feel almost like a tingling feeling, maybe. Like what would sparkles feel like? um, tingling or lightness, or maybe kind of an effervescent feeling, kind of thing. It's so hard to come into sometimes to come into that quiet inner state of being, outside of all that doing, where you're just being. And when we give ourselves this time, yeah, it can have the most amazing, beautiful experiences of that connection to the whole of existence and whatever shows up in this moment. This is maybe top of my list of what I really enjoy, what I really love about doing my work is that um, merging of the physical and not the coming into that space of that where the physical and the non-physical merge, come together, and dance together. This is where the magic happens. A human level layer there just kind of peeling away, so that was interesting. By human level, I mean things that are connected up to being a human, like identities, human identities. So human identity, to explain that, it's like roles that we take on. Like, I'm a teacher. I'm a pianist. I'm a carpenter. I'm whatever. I am something. That's just an identity, but that's at the human level. Even like, I'm a savior. I'm a priest. I'm a good person. Even saying I am good, there's that kind of human piece that comes in with that. Because at spirit level, we just are, and moving between that human and spirit level, or physical and spirit level. Yeah, that's better. There's a lot of things that come in that move us into that physical level, move us out of that physical level. And when I say move us out, kind of separating out that piece of moving out where we're floating off. So moving out where we're moving into a higher state of being, but not disconnecting from ourselves. So removing that one from what I'm talking about here, because that's a distorted way, and a very, that can be very harmful, actually, to do it that way, to be disconnected as we move out. And to come into a higher state of being, um, we have to stay connected with our physical. We can't flip out like a lot of people think. Elizabeth, I'm kind of falling asleep. Yeah, so that happens a lot when the mind is we're so used to being in our minds and even like really in some ways being in our bodies so much that it but in that doing mode of the physical body, like athletes get really into that doing through the body as opposed to through the mind. And we get into either kind of a slowing down state so the mind falls can fall asleep. Um, because it just it's like it can't deal with it. So it just like that's its way of like checking out, basically. Also, when we hit into high frequency levels, it that we're not yet accustomed to enough or accustomed to at all, we will fall asleep, kind of thing. Um, just because the system can't maintain, so it just kind of shuts down to like be able to just take it in and integrate. Okay, I'm just kind of not kind of close it out for you guys. Let's just leave it open for the rest of the time here. Just curious as to how people, besides falling asleep, how people are doing. If you had that experience that when I was talking about the sparkle, if you had a sense of that. Felt like a cloud of of shimmering to me. Yeah. So yeah, that would be kind of fit in. Yeah, it just started to come down and coming to people and it just feels very, very light. Um, Very jittery and not focused by having my eyes open. Good for you, Ilaria. That's okay. Absolutely fine. You did great. So that's okay. As the more you practice that, the less jitter you will get. So that jitteriness is that fear piece that's coming in, distracted. But as long as you keep working at it, you will strengthen that. I mean, remember when you were learning to ride a bicycle? It's like the first time you get on the bicycle, what happened? Right? And then you get out again and you're like, then you get on again and it's like, okay. And then you still have the training wheels on there. Somebody's still bouncing the bike for you. So same thing. It's exactly the same thing. What makes this difficult, part of what makes it difficult is that if you were learning this when you were like 2 or 3, no problem. You'd do it, you'd get right back on and do it. But as we get older, what happens is that more of what we are doing is what we've already learned to do, so we're comfortable with. And so we've forgotten what it's like to be uncomfortable and feeling really awkward. So we just have to work through the awkward thing. So good for you. I was distracted by a phone call and someone at the door. I think I was able to stay in my body both times. Yeah, good. And yeah, excellent. You know, and by actually staying in your body, you're actually even with the distraction and going um, to the door to the phone. You also kind of stay here. I have some kids coming in and out, but I'm getting into the being now, doing the opposite of Ilari and practicing not getting pulled out with my eyes closed. Yeah, so we all have our weak spots, eyes open or eyes closed, and with this. So so good, yeah. And it just takes practice. And the more we do something, the easier it feels. You know, I was bringing up cycles in the pie group, and we talked a little bit about this, but I'll bring it up again. It's like at the beginning of a cycle, things are really rough. You know, we're like, and so at the beginning of learning something, you're just like, you know, as you push through and shake off and kind of move up. And also that was coming up a little bit. I don't know if people really felt that. But as you come into more alignment, more precise alignment to where you were before, because it's a continual realigning of ourselves coming into deeper alignment. But so relative to where you were before you come into more alignment, there is that kind of like, you know, and then that stillness that comes in when you get to that deeper level. So all of those. You know, so kind of say it that way, Larry. Or you're saying very jittery and not focused. So that's that process of like, and energetically, it will feel that way. I've felt it that way, and it can get very intense. And it's like, nope, I'm going to stay right here. You know, and you come back to it, and you keep your mind kind of like centered as this is going on, and you feel jittery, and you're just kind of aligning more deeply. My neck felt like it shifted during the meditation. That's very, very likely, you know. Boy, I had this whole neck thing going on for years. I'm talking about years, easily 5 years. And what it when I started to really notice it, just it's like everything just like this, like literally feeling like this, even to the point of not being able to sleep on this side because it's so. And then as I've come into more into that myself, into that alignment with myself, that's actually shifted. And it's pretty much gone. I mean, sometimes when I get a little something throws me off a little bit, you know, for certain things, I get a little bit of a tweak in my neck, and then it's okay, coming back into that alignment. So yeah, I'm not surprised. And also, you know, when we pull up and we kind of come back down, then the body can relax more, and muscles will relax more, everything will relax more, the nervous system, the muscles, the blood pressure, um, coming into lower, having everything kind of settle down will relax everything, and then boom. Yeah, very nice. So that's a nice one. Yeah. Sure, I've got a question for you because also your little message there kind of popped out at me. Um, it looks to me like there's a top half. Let's see, down to the waist, kind of about down to the waist, hips. You're pretty present in your body, but then down below, it's not that you're not present, but you're all you look like you're kind of gunked up. Like, it would be hips, legs, down in that area. Does that make sense to you, Cherie? And yes. Okay. Um, so that staying just, present is probably a lot upper body, and so the distraction, like, the distraction is it's interesting because it almost feels like it comes in at you through the distortion in that lower area. Um, let's break that away. So everybody take a nice deep breath in, coming into, so we're going to do this because that's that part of that grounding coming into ourselves more. So this will be good for everybody. Everybody really come into your legs. Feel your legs. even kind of lightly squeeze your legs, your muscles with your hands. And moving like from the hips all the way down to the feet. You're clearing out a lot of kind of relationship stuff. Or you're kind of going through that. But anyways, everybody, deep into your legs, your feet. Wiggle your toes. Feel the bones in your legs. They have a very different vibrational quality than your muscles, than the fascia, than the skin. The inside of the bone will have a different vibrational quality. You can feel into that. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to just keep working on that. I'm just going to take a little bit of a deep focus here. There we go. That's actually separating out pretty nicely, which means you are pretty, there's a lot of presence in your legs. Just you had the stuff that's coming off. I would think it would make it a little bit challenging for you to move forward in what you want to do for yourself and things that you want to do for yourself. So, but it's coming off so easily. I think that was just stuff that was pulling out that you were still in the process of releasing. Yeah, the two of you with hip issues, Kayla and Ilaria, will be good for you. Also, really come into both sides. Everybody, both sides, both hips, both legs. And anybody else, everybody else, yeah. Upper legs, make sure to go down into the lower half of your legs. Don't jump from your thighs to your feet. Or if you have, just come back into the knees, between the knees and the ankles. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of fun doing it in a group because you got kind of a double whammy with the group. The power of the group going boom, focusing on this. So everybody's kind of just amplifying together on this clearing. Let's just open up this feet also. Both legs. And backside as well. Wow. Coherence of being and standing in one's truth. And one's truth means the purity of your being. Not one's truth in terms of what you believe in, what you think is right for you, but in the purity of your being, the brilliance of who you are that is beyond those notions. There we go. Very nice. Huh. Oh yeah, thanks for that, Shuri. Shuri says I've been having a rough time moving forward. I'm not surprised. Can feel it coming off. So, thank you. Yeah, you've been pushing a lot of stuff out. So very nice. Yes, and moving forward and what each of you is here to be, and from that being here to do. Oh, nice. Wow, that was a good one for everybody, I think. Yeah. So thank you for that, Shuri. Bringing that up to just have a little bit of a deeper clearing for everybody. Let's see, Elizabeth. I did these other meditations, and recently I've been falling asleep and waking up feeling like my body is on fire. Okay, just checking on that. Part of what's going on for you, Elizabeth, is that it's like it's almost like an activation of energy, and your body is not uh, up to par. The level is not acclimated to that shift. So that's kind of creating that. There's also a lot of heat from just burning up stuff. I would say to like kind of slow down a little bit. I don't know which other meditations you've done, but feels like you need. It would be good to take some integration time. I had wow. I remember the first weekend of healing school. I went to a three-year program way back along the lines of Barbara Brennan type program for energy healing, which is the very general term, but working with the energetics. I think it was the first week, and there was like so much energy moving through me. It wasn't burning me up, but I had this big red mark on my neck that I all of a sudden noticed because there was a mirror like on somewhere in the room, and it's like, wow, what is that? But it was just the energy just hitting a spot that where the physical tissue wasn't aligned properly, kind of thing. So so yeah, just you can kind of slow down the process, let yourself integrate more in between the stuff, and that's fine. Just adjustments in the system. How's everybody feeling with those legs? Any other comments there? I'm also noticing my voice is deeper today. That's not because of a cold or anything. It's just, that's interesting because I'm noticing that. So just that state of being that takes us into certain vibrational levels. And also what happens also is like when people are pulled up, they'll have higher voices. So when you come more into your physical body and more like your solar plexus, you'll have those deeper voices, more present you are. And it's not like your voice might get really deep, but just there will be kind of a lower pitch, legs feeling dense and jittery at the same time. Oh, well, that's a good thing. Dense, yeah. I mean, think of the weight. All right, you go to the butcher and you get like this roast beef. I mean, you think of the density of that. That's what that's density of your thighs there. So dense is good. That's really you're coming into that physical. And jittery is like it's that yeah, it's that shaking and that kind of that realignment, that shaking. So that's good, Ilaria. Good move. Focus on the legs really help to give me more staying power in that being place. Yes, yes, because that grounds you, brings you more present in yourself, more anchored, like rock solid, like that tree, like that boulder, boom, like that mountain. Yes, I can feel tingling and energy moving through my waist to the bottom of my feet. Oh, very good. Yeah. Nice opening there. So so also, it's interesting because it's a very different experience than Ilaria. Ilaria is just talk about feeling dense and jittery, and then you're feeling tingling and kind of this energy movement. So both are good, and they're both just different experience to have that are equally valid, you know. So very nice, very good. And valid for what each person needs to experience in the moment, for where they at, for what needs to happen for them to really come into themselves. Yeah. Yeah, boy, Sheree, it feels like your system is really there's an excitement that's coming through there. So that's really neat. I'm kind of almost kind of curious as to what's going to be coming up for you here, but there's kind of this excitement of being able to, of not feeling stuck in place, kind of thing. Yeah. Anything else? Elizabeth, something that's popping into mind right now is relative to your question on Monday about the boy. Um, uh, when you feel that awkwardness, just take a deep breath into that. Feel that come more into your body and rest into that, just to see how that helps you just kind of be more present and not so bothered by the awkwardness. It's like it's unblocked. Yes, definitely. With that tingling and energy moving through, absolutely. Boom, just kind of it's like it's like it was compacted is the word I would use, and which is a kind of a blocking, but it's like so tight. It's like wearing those compression hoses, or on the legs, where it just goes to hold everything in place, and so the flow isn't really good there, and then you take it off and it's like, "Pooh," it just, goes down, so very nice, yeah. Like I haven't felt them. Yeah. Well, it's my sense is that you were feeling them, but what you were feeling is kind of that compression kind of thing, and so it's like before that probably felt grounded to you, and now that you've got this layer, this whole thickness off, when free that up, it's like, oh, this is what they really feel like. So before, it's my sense is that you were probably more feeling more of the you were feeling, but it was more of the kind of distortion stuff and very little of that pure thing for yourself, kind of thing. Recommendations for naturally dealing with pinworm. We've treated her with over the counter, and they come back days later. Oh my God, yeah, I think worms, you have to do a full cycle of a living cycle, so that's like at least a month long. And I can't can't clean and do laundry anymore. Yes. Um, yeah, well, worms, there's black walnut, all that I know of for worms. I don't know if pinworms, there's something more specific, but you have to do it for the full life cycle of the worms, not just a few days later. Yeah, it doesn't sound like that really, that kind of knocks it out. And then, probably I fell asleep again. Good for you. Enjoy the sleep. Maybe you need it with all those kids around you. So, and you're in the space. So also the falling asleep is a way to just help your system, give your system that possibility to integrate more because the mind is out of the way. The mind is out, not trying to figure it out or whatever. Um, so I would just check on the age um, with the, like maybe the dosage. So I don't know if there's something else, black walnut. I would also look into essential oils, but also with the kid, just uh, look at the dosage for a 4-year-old. And you probably want to do both kids, actually, at the same time. Or you might maybe just do everybody at the same time, but at least a month, from the birth cycle to the full maturity and back to the hatching cycle again. Anna, anything for you? Let's see. All right, let's everybody take a nice deep breath in. Settle into your being. Yeah, you've you've got a so I will describe it as a density around you, Anna. Yeah. All right. I won't go into any more of that. Everybody, let's come in. Let's all do this together. And also the essential oils. There's a lot of different ways. I'm used to taking them internally because that's just the way they do it in France. But also with like putting it on the soles of the feet and the spine, and maybe a combination of like black walnut and you know essential oils. Also, what's popping in is to Hannah's Herb Shop, giving them a call and seeing what any of Hannah's vibrational remedies, if they have any vibrational remedies um, for that also, because that's easy with kids also. But I would do it on all those different levels, kind of a combination. Okay, first like Anna, so and then I'll get to Diana, and then that will be it for today. So, all right, everybody, come into deep breath in, hold it at the top, hold it, hold it, hold it, release it all the way out. And then come into your chest, come into your sternum and your spine at the same time. So, and Anna, especially you, but everybody, let's do it all together because that will help everybody. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Coming into yourself, Anna. So that's the piece about the emptiness, coming in and connecting with yourself. So apply next month would be really good because we're really going to get into this piece here. Because so that emptiness, what happens is when we have that emptiness, it's trying to fill it in with all this external stuff. There we go. Keep breathing into your chest, everybody. Relaxing into your chest space, your heart space. loosening that up. This is actually part of why you were tired or feeling sleepy, or if you've been feeling tired, Anna, is this piece that's shifting out. It's probably been feeling like you've had a burden that you've been carrying. So Pure Life Infusions, April, starting next Monday, and really going into this deep being, pure state of being, pure love state, to really grow that for ourselves. So that's on the website if you're not familiar with it. On the page where the frequency sessions at the bottom. And yeah, very nice. Okay. So that's just a little quickie here. Anna also says, Kayla, colloidal silver, 30 ppm is good for worms. I would also check that with the age. That might not be really good for children under a certain age, but good to know. All right, Diana. All right. Yeah, you kind of have this heaviness of being also, Diana, that's coming through. So let's kind of, everybody again, take a nice deep breath in. So with that heaviness of being, just not feeling very excited about life, not feeling enthusiastic or excited or even very joyful. It just feels like there's just kind of like kind of feeling. That makes sense. Take a deep breath in. So really, again, like what we were just doing, coming into that heart space, that chest, focusing on that breath. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Opening that up. And giving yourself that space for your spirit to come, really kind of, well, the way it's showing up is your spirit coming into you. But giving yourself that breathing space in your body. So there, that was another quick release. Junk. Thanks, Anna. Yes, kids from the stuff I've read are okay with colloidal silver. I'll try that. I have a friend who makes her own and sells it, so I'll give her some business. Double check about making that, because silver, yeah, I'm a little hesitant with silver because it is a heavy metal. So make sure that that's it is the quality needs to be. It feels like you need a multiple prong approach. So check out all the pieces, and colloidal silver could be one of them. But check out all the different pieces we've talked about, and it feels like you kind of need a combination of things. I'll try everything. Yeah, make your list of what are the different things to use, and then kind of work with that to see. And it might be that you have, because there's a life cycle. So it might be with the different parts of the life cycle, you want a slightly different combination to move all the way through and past. So it goes from the egg to the larva to the worm to the, all the way to the adult, to dying off. And then there's the dying off, and then there's the next stage of like larvas that are ready to, so you got to go past that next larva stage. Not very long, but just a little bit to cover that whole cycle. Knock it all out. Okay, good job, everybody. That was a good session. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to join us for Ply, I hope you will. Again, it's on the website. unboundandfree.com on the frequency session part. It's a bargain. It's great. We have a good time. And after the second and fourth session, we just have the immersion, and then we have the afterwards we have just kind of talking questions, getting in deeper, kind of anchoring in deeper, the understanding whatever questions people have, a little bit deeper. Love, love, love pie. Yes, I do too. I'm having such a great time. So, anyways, and starting April. So this is next week. Starting next week, I am moving. I have to move. I have to start it at 3:00. So starting next week, yes, on April. I'm sorry, not Ply. Coming into being, Ply is different. We are starting Ply actually in May. That won't be till May. But for coming into being, and I'll have to post that. We're going to start an hour earlier, guys. An hour earlier. I got to switch you guys over. So need to put that in. So 3:00 Eastern instead of 4:00 Eastern. Okay. Thanks everybody for stopping by, and see you in the ethers. Hope to see you on Ply if you're joining up, and in the ethers in next week and coming into being. So take care, everybody.